Hey everybody. Today I'm just going to show a few little tips on weathering on the cheap. I'm going to work on just a few of the little cars and locomotives that I got out at Whistle Stop. Show you how with just minimal effort and minimal expense, being a 99-cent little tube of paint from Hobby Lobby, you can get some real cool results. What I did already was this beautiful Southern Pacific coach. That was a Santa Fe car that I bought up at the Kelso train show this past, I don't know, winter, spring, whatever it was. Anyway, today, or yesterday, put on the red stripe, put on the Southern Pacific decals, the little Sunset Limited. I'm saying that after the Sunset Limited was cut down, they sent the cars up to work on the Cascades and the Coast Starlights. Yeah, just in my own little world. We're going to put a little bit of dust on the new F40. This was the red Great Northern stock car. It's had a coat of SP Freight Car Red. Let that dry. And then I covered it mainly with this antique maroon from up at Hobby Lobby. I used the antique maroon just with the brush carefully. Just put it on this new boxcar. Just take some of the shine off of it. Gives it sort of that worn out look. Or not even worn out, but just used look. We're going to put a little bit on this GP60. Not too much, just a little bit. And then I was really tempted to put a bunch of graffiti and stuff here on this rock, but I think I'm just going to dirty up a little bit, maybe put just a little bit on there. This Santa Fe diner that I got, it has already donated its trucks to this. I mean, maybe they're not perfect, but they work. The decals I put on here. You can see this little one. These are from the Sunset Limited. Put that on. And then just the red stripe. And then here's the graphic for Southern Pacific. Went through a couple of those. They're really thin. But that's kind of it for now. I'll show you here in a bit some of the things we're going to do. So I started just painting a little bit of brown on top of this flat car because the wood's not going to be yellow. It's going to be brown. And then I'm going to put on the little side stakes that go with it. It's already labeled UP. So all I'm going to do is continue with some of this antique maroon and some of that brown. And we're just going to paint the top. And I'll show you what it's like in a second. Okay, so it's starting to get there. To add a little variety, I'm just going to take a little good old black Sharpie and I'm going to put a couple dabs across it, and then I'm going to smooth those in with the brush. Then we'll probably put another coat of brown when this dries. Okay, I'll set this down and do it. Okay, so I'm just going to let that dry for now, and I'll put on another coat. When this guy dries, I'm going to put on a few SP decals. So while I got the brown out, I'm going to go ahead and put a little on both the F40 and the GP60. And it's nothing more than simply taking small brush, a little bit of brown, and kind of simulate rust coming from the top. All right, here's my F40, and we're going to start at the top. Just a little bit of brown, and just kind of smoosh it in. It kind of simulates rust and just oxidation. Nothing exciting. Put some on the front pilot here. Maybe a dab on the nose. Put a little bit on with the brush. Just dab it in with your fingers. Nothing, you can always add more. So less is more. And then I'll put just a little bit kind of on the car body. The battery box, fuel tank. They put a little bit on the trucks. Make the ladders a little bit dirty. Just a little bit, just so it doesn't look factory fresh. Unless that's what you're modeling. Like it's, 1976 or 7 and we just picked these up from EMD. But just a little bit. Put across the fans. This gives it a little detail. Don't forget the back ends. And just that little bit of dab on there, I think, brings out a lot of the detail. Gives it a little road grime, nothing terrible. Just dirty it up a little bit. And then if I'm going to put on some more, I do just a little from like right inside there so you don't get too much. This new one, I'm going to have to definitely prop up those couplers, do a little work in there. But that's all right. You put a little bit on the trucks, it just brings up the details. You're not coating them down, but you're just showing a little road grime. Nothing exciting. And let's see. I'll use some of these Model Master pens. We'll put a little bit on there too here. We'll pause for that. So this color is dust, and dust would be down on the trucks, above the trucks, on the front of the unit, on the pilot there. Nothing horrible, just enough to show that it's an active unit. We'll do the same on this SD60. GP60, my mistake. Dust, we'll just put some down here on the fuel tank. Up around the front here on the trucks. Push down on it and swirl that around. A little bit back on the radiator, a little bit on the car body. UP usually keeps their engines pretty good. Yeah, some of them you can see are all grimy, and just do a little bit on this here. And yeah, some of it comes off of my fingers, then I reapply it. So with that one, let's switch over to, this is, yeah, that's concrete. I don't want to use that. Mud. Move that in right so you can see it. Oh, well, trust me, it's called mud. And it's kind of a lighter than the brown. And just push it down a couple times. Let's put some on the trucks, ladders, front pilot. And if you get a bunch on there, just kind of smooth it around. I'll probably put some darker down here on the fuel tank, because that's where I've been holding it, so a lot of it's been rubbing off. But doesn't take much. And we'll go back to our brown paint. Just get a little dab here. Go down, not much at all, just a little bit here. And just a bit up here. Get it on there. You just smooth it on. It brings out that little detail that's on there. You know, this is not a rivet counter by any means, but just a little bit. Remember, gravity makes things flow up and down, so if you're applying weathering, do it from the top down. Think where the on locomotives you see where they get dirty. Down on the bottom. Yeah, I think that looks much better already. Nothing extreme, but it's a working dirty unit. I used to kind of overdo it with like black. The one I do like doing, did that Rio Grande Western, and I modeled it off a real one that was so black you could barely see the road name on it. So we're just going to let that sit for a little bit. And while we got the brown out, let's add another coat to our little flat car here. Because that kind of wood, even if they use like Alaskan cedar, it's not going to be yellow. It's going to be brownish, dark black. And that black shows up in there kind of like as knots. And that's all right. Oh. And then while we're at it, we'll just give it a little bit along the car itself. Put it on the edges. So even you're not really painting the edge, but it just brings out the detail. All right, that's enough of that for now. We'll put some of these back together and put them back on. Talk to you later, folks. Oh, I forgot this one. It's Route Rock. Looks good, and you know, it looks really nice. The top looks kind of like it's weathered already, but we'll take care of that just by adding some there. And then just real carefully, in fact, I'll take some of that off onto the flat car. And we're just gonna, that might even be too much there. Let's get the edges. Kind of smush that in. Come around the trucks, ladders, the bottom. Get the edges. And just real carefully. Because you can always add more, but that just gives it sort of that look of a little bit of rust. It's been out in the rain. Nothing horrible. All right. Talk to you later.